So this is it. We're here. We are back live for another podcast. It's just your boy EC22 of the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Thank you for tuning in. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation, please. Because nobody just want to hear me talk. But if you don't want to hear me talk, you can always listen to Coach D-Wade talk, man. D-Wade, how you been doing, brother?
Hey. Good Tuesday evening to all you sports fans, fair weather fans, all the above out there. Excited about another great show tonight. So what's up, EC?
Man, ain't a whole lot, man. Just been a great week in sports, man. It's been real fun and interesting, man. So let's dive right on into it. So over the weekend, we saw something that I didn't expect to see. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it. The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Oh my God. It was what are your overall thoughts?
Wow, man, it was quite the promotion, it was very commercialized.
Yeah.
It was very great environment, a lot of celebrities in the house. So I love seeing Shaq and all those that were, there to see Iron Mike. And but yeah, what a promotion that was, man. Or a three-ring circus or whatever you want to call it.
Listen, I'm gonna say it this way. I turned it when I watched all the way up until the second round of Paul and Tyson, and then I turned it off because at that point I knew what it was. And D-Way, I had this thought. I'm sitting back and I was upset with myself because when I first heard that they was fighting, I thought it was a ruse. I thought it was a hoax. I thought somebody it was fake news on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they confirmed it, I was like, oh, snap. Then I heard it was going to be an exhibition. It wasn't going to be a real fight. And I was like, okay, nobody's watching that nonsense. I don't really care. Then they said it's going to be a real fight. Then Tyson got hurt. It's supposed to be scheduled for June or July. Then he got hurt. And then it got postponed. And I just thought it was whole nonsense. And then all of a sudden, I got curious.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big word I want to use, curiosity.
Yeah.
And because it was free, I didn't have to pay for the fight. The curiosity got me tuned into Netflix, and I sat there all the way up to the second round, and I sat back and I started laughing. I'm like, this is what was supposed to happen. This is nothing but Tyson wanted to prove something. He can still get in the ring at 58 years old, and Jake Paul just wanted to get off from there and have the chance to say he can get in the ring with Mike Tyson. This wasn't about winning or losing. It's about both men wanted to do something and prove they can do something. They can make their dreams come true. That's all it was. Had nothing to do about who's better, Tyson or Paul. And I got disappointed in myself. So that's kind of how that fight went in my mind. I know a lot of people was upset because they thought, like you said, the celebrities came out. They wanted to see Tyson do his thing, but it wasn't even about that.
No, and and I'm not a fan of either one of these guys. I don't root for them. I don't root against them. I have tons of respect for Iron Mike Tyson, what he's accomplished and what he's done for the sport of boxing. And but I was curious. I liked your word. I was curious because on paper, 20-something-year-old guy is not supposed to be able to
right.
Or I should say, an old man, 50-something-year-old man, and is not supposed to be able to get in there with a youngster. But it was pretty obvious what it was and what was going on and what they were doing. And I used the word to some of my friends and family that were watching. My word was it was really cheesy.
I like it.
Can I say it that way?
You can say that, yeah.
It was cheesy. It was kind of a buzzkill. But at the end of the day, hey, the exciting thing about it was the two fights prior to that.
Yeah.
Had it going on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's those were two of the best fights. Just good old fashioned stand in the middle of the ring and let's just get after it that I'd seen in a long time, and but at the end of the day, pretty cheesy, pretty commercialized. Hope everybody had a good time that was there, and hope both those guys made a bunch of money, and so yeah, that's my take on it.
So the word you said is cheesy, obviously. So let me ask you this question. Uh is MVP most valuable promotion? It's obviously that a promotional company that Jake Paul and one of his buddies started, most valuable promotion. Is it good or bad for boxing? Obviously you're older than me, but we knew when boxing was boxing, you know what I'm
What
saying?
what are you trying to say, bro? How'd
Well,
you
I'm
start
not
that?
saying that you are senior citizen, but I'm saying that we ain't in our 20s and 30s either. You know, what I'm saying? but what I'm saying is that you and I, we was there for the golden age of boxing,
Mm-hmm.
and you there more than me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and definitely the 90s. You know, then that little 30, 40-year span, like we saw the best boxing ever, and now we got this. Is it good or bad?
So, growing up as a boxing fan, my dad was a big boxing fan, and he boxed in the military and was successful. And he used to take us to the good old fashioned Golden Gloves.
Yeah, yeah.
And some years they'd have the regionals, and then they'd have the state tournament here in Dallas
Right.
Fort Worth. And then a couple times they had the national. If you won your weight, your division at the state level, all the best of the best came in from all over the United States, and
Right, right.
they'd have three rings set up at the same time going. And
Okay, now you before my time.
yeah, it was good old fashioned amateur boxing at its finest. And I got to grow up and see some of the great heavyweights, professionals. Got to see the greatest of all time,
Yeah,
the legendary Muhammad Ali. And
yeah.
but to answer your question, it depends on how they're promoting. Are they
Right,
promoting it as a real, true heavyweight or whatever weight it is fight, or are they promoting it as just something to get the general public's attention and go, hey, this is going to be a lot of fun, good entertainment for all people involved.
right.
But yeah, it wouldn't, yeah, I'm trying to be nice. And that just wasn't, really distasteful, really. I would have rather them. And I think most people out there would have rather said, hey, here's the deal. We're only going to go 3 rounds,
Right,
and we're going to go 2 minutes a round, and y'all going to go all out. Y'all going to try to
right,
kill each other.
right.
Y'all going to try to kill each other. You're going to have 6 minutes. We're going to give you a minute or a minute and a half between rounds, and I want to see you guys throw some haymakers. But, I don't think the general public would have wanted to see Mike Tyson get knocked down or get hurt or get knocked out.
Right.
Okay. And I don't think Jake Paul at the end of the day wanted to do that to him either.
Right.
So it is what it is.
My thoughts are this. I mean, when you're looking at most valuable promotions, you look at what he was able to accomplish. Now, I'm mixed emotion. So one side of me says, okay, you know what? For boxing as we know it, when you're looking at the way boxing is constructed, when you're looking at coming up through the ranks, being a guy who can be a champion, and you have those who are now in running to be a contender for their champion, the way it's always done, coming up through the ranks, you know what I'm saying, combat mode, for if you will, earning a right to be there, the different levels of boxing, that's what it's all about. But these younger people have found a cheat code in everything. To where now it's like you can go from sitting on your couch to multi-millionaire overnight. You know what I'm saying? And so part of me, like, for traditional boxing, we want to see the best of the best go at it. But then when you look at as far as the cheat code, I can't be mad at the younger generation for finding another avenue. Now, is it good for boxing? Because what he's doing does not include the current boxers, I think it's bad. Because you're talking about on that scorecard making that much money, maybe you should have had some of these current day boxers. And he had a few of them. He had the two gentlemen and then the young women.
Yeah.
But he should have had more, and some of the heavyweight title fights or the middleweights or the welterweights or the phantomweights, whatever, have those guys come out and fight on that big ticket. And that should be the new wave. If there's going to be a new boxing promotion, you take the antics out of Jake Paul out of it, and now make a new wave for boxing for these guys to make that much money. But the problem is, will they watch it if it's not Jake Paul fighting in one of those arenas, in one of those sports, one of those matches? I don't know.
Right. And then so here's a question for you. If it wouldn't have been, if it had been Jake Paul and some random cat or some other guy that is a professional boxer, and there would have been no Iron Mike Tyson in there,
right?
Would it still have carried the weight it carried? I'd say no, because of Iron Mike Tyson's reputation.
Right.
And so were people there? People weren't there to see those. Those were a couple of the best boxing matches, and I know you're a big fan.
Right.
Those two earlier were, for me, they were as good as it gets. Do you agree?
Right.
So were people there to see that, or did they even care? Or were they there just to see Jake and Mike go at it?
They wanted to see. They came from Mike Tyson. Let's just call it what it is. They came from Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Because the last fight that Tyson was supposed to fight, Mike Perry took his spot, and then obviously, I mean, look at Mike Perry. His resume as an MMA guy. I mean, he had his time in the octagon, but obviously not a traditional boxer. And of course, Paul does what he does. But I like G's comments that this only get people to know nothing about boxing to look at the sport, and possibly get any new fans at this point. And that makes sense. You're just going to try to get new fans. He said, there's what? Chicken M nuggets for kids that rather pay premium, or buffalo wings that pay the regular wings for them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, for us old heads in boxing, we're not getting what we want. And obviously the old way of boxing is gone. And
we got what we wanted those two fights prior.
Yeah. But we're not going to see too much more. You're going to see more of these celebrity or YouTuber, because these YouTube beeps and all this stuff, because even the guys who came out in fights, Ramos, some of the guys, they started out, and we talked about it earlier, how Ryan Garcia, who fought Tank, he was a guy who had a big, strong social media influence. So this is where it's going right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the cheat code is out there. This is a new way of boxing. Y'all just need to put Tank Davis on one of y'all promotions so he can make some money. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what. We weren't there, but we got to see something that the people that pay all that big money, didn't get to see. We got to see Mike Tyson's buttocks. And they didn't. And I didn't have to even pay extra for that. If you know what I'm saying.
Man, Netflix is just screwed up.
What are they doing?
Netflix screwed up all the way low. You got him in the. First of all, let's talk about the fact that love Rosie Perez. Doing her thing. I think she should be on more boxing, because she's been a long time boxing fan forever. Andre Ward did okay, but Cedric Entertainer, we didn't need him.
Oh, come on, seriously?
Do you looking at, you got the two GOATs up there, Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. Evander earpiece wasn't working. Mm-hmm. And then when Jerry Jones got up there with Michael Irvin, Jerry Jones' microphone wasn't working. I'm like, Netflix, what are you doing? And then you turn around and show Mike butt cheeks with his son. It's like, you're supposed to pan out, bro. Go back to you, Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying?
That guy, that cameraman either got fired or he got a promotion that night.
I don't know. So with that being said, so now we know Netflix and what they did with this fight. How are they going to be able to handle Christmas Day when they got when you look at they got two big games, the Steelers versus the Chiefs, Texans versus Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Are they good enough right now for streaming, or do they need a whole? How much are they ready right now? Now, obviously, you probably won't have that many people tuning in on Christmas, like 50, 60 million, but that thing was streaming bad way before we hit this 50, 60 million mark. So I don't know.
Yeah, and you say that,
right?
A lot of people watch football.
Yeah, you're right.
On Thanksgiving Day and on Christmas Day.
Right.
After all the festivities and all the celebrating's over, they hang out and I feel like we'll have a big audience.
Yeah. Can Netflix handle that amount of streaming? Because they got, I mean, I don't know.
Man, I don't know how it's going to go down. I don't know what they paid or who paid what, but I hope it goes off smoothly. So
He said Andre Ward is just not a talker speaker. He knows boxing though, and through and through. Yeah, he said streaming boxing is a yeah. But what about a live football event? I think streaming boxing is not a horrible event because we've seen streaming boxing before. I mean, well, we see live events before, and I guess you're right. We're talking about nationally a broadcast station versus a streaming platform. I guess G is right, making a good point on that because you do want to probably do more broadcast and anything that way you have all your. But I will tell you what Netflix did do. Man, they made it plush. I love you see the sweeps around the ring. They had the little plush sleeve. They had the TV. That was pretty sweet. They had the little digital boards up on the rings and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, they
LED screens, all that was pretty sweet.
They put the bougie and the swag in it for sure, but as far as Cedric Entertainer, I'd rather seen Charles Barkley sitting there other than Cedric,
Oh boy, Charles Barkley would have had a straight up fool. Snoop Dogg or something, but Cedric was just bad. Cedric was just bad. It was like, don't ever get him again. I don't even know what they was thinking. What made him think that he had a good resume to do that? He was just terrible to watch, man.
I agree. And I don't know what Jerry Jones is thinking he's doing, but whatever.
All right, so there we have it. Let's transition to some real sports. I hate to say it that way, but it is what it is. Let's see, G, live broadcast is a better experience for the fan. Absolutely. Versus streaming. You're right, G, on that. So congratulations to the Dallas Wings. If you guys do not know, the Dallas Wings has won the lottery. So they got the number 1 overall pick. So the question is, me and B was talking about this earlier, who should the Dallas Wings draft?
Man, I mean, the easy name, the first name that will come to my mind, just because I've been following her, is my girl Paige Beckers. I mean, that's the easy pick, but she's we'll see, let's see.
It's so crazy because I watched them play the other day. I was telling somebody, I was talking to Felix last night, and I was telling him there was for basketball, I've only watched like 3 games, and I couldn't remember the last game I watched, but that was the last game I watched. It was UConn versus somebody, and I watched Paige Beckers go out here and do a thing.
Yeah.
And so I watched Gino Krama get his win, and now he's climbing up the ranks. He just tied I forget her name, but the Stanford coach, and so he's going to end up being all-time winningest coach before the season is over with. So I like Paige, and I'm looking at it, and I played it. I did it in my mind, D-Way. I sat up there and I put her on that Dallas Wings team. I'm like, man, between her and Enrique Gumale and Sabali, I said, man, she can really, really, really do some things. And then I got to scrolling through some of the prospects in the draft, and I didn't see any name that stood out that I thought would be a good fit for the Dallas, because you got the number 1 pick, right? There's some other people that can pick, obviously second round. But then I ran across this one young lady. She right now has not made a draft prospect yet. She's the senior from Rutgers. Her name is Destiny Adams.
Okay.
And she haven't made a draft prospect yet because, first of all, let's talk about Destiny. I'm going to introduce the world to Destiny Adams here on the FairWeather Fan.
Okay.
The young lady scored over 2,000 points in her high school career. During the COVID year, she was averaging 30 points a game, 30 and 20. One of the only players that averaged over 8 games, 20 and 20 in high school. Her last game in high school, she scored 50 points and 20 rebounds. She's a forward. But the problem is when she joined the University of North Carolina, she joined that group with 3 to 4 other freshmen. And they had their picks. So she was on the bench. There was a 6-man heavy team. They played 6 in rotation, 20 minutes each. She was barely getting 8 minutes a game. and is only scoring 3 some points. So for 2 years, she went under the radar because North Carolina had their picks. But the moment she left North Carolina and came to Rutgers, her first year at Rutgers, she was second in scoring. This year, she's averaging 27 points a game. So obviously, the recruiters haven't been watching her for the last couple of years. But if she continue to do the things that she's doing, especially when she start to go against the Juju Watsons of the world and the Paige Beckers, when she start going against those players, especially Juju because they play the same position, then we're going to see. We're going to watch her slowly. I'm not going to say she's going to upstage Paige Beckers because she's already there. She's going to be the number one, whether if she don't even play another game. She's going to be slated. But what I am saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas didn't mind taking a step down and said, you know what, let's trade this number one spot to get this young lady over here because she's a strong forward. She had a phenomenal career. The world just don't know her yet, but they will. They will. And I think they can use her. But I'm not mad at Paige having another guard to that squad because our guard play is terrible.
Yeah, so I've got a couple comments from a few people. Our Covenant brother Felix says that Paige is a generational talent. And he said if you pair her with what's a Agubawale?
Agumawale. Arika Agumawale. Yeah.
That he thinks they could have some success. And then heard from J-Dub earlier, and I really like. He sent me some information. I really liked what he said. He said he'd like to see Paige. He was really wanting to see Paige paired up with Cameron Brink. But he said there's a couple other players that he thinks that we need to be sure we watch as well. Kiki Arafin from Stanford.
Yeah. She's another one.
And he said the big girl that plays it, the big inside for the Aggies. We don't have her name either, but the point he made, and the last thing he said about this was, and I think it's interesting, and I want to talk about it for a second. Okay, you see, and that is this: how long is it going to be until we see a Juju Watkins come out early?
Right.
And is that going to be a trend once it happens? Like it is with the men. Because if Juju declared that she's coming out early, would she be the first overall pick? I don't know.
Well, the thing about because of NIL. Because right now, even though the women are in a collective year and they're going to make a little bit more money, it's still not going to be nowhere compared to NIL money. Juju is getting paid money.
Right.
Yeah. She's already got endorsement deals. She's already got contracts right now. Stay in there for your 4 years. She's a sophomore now. Stay in there for the next couple of years. And when it's time to come out, now, like you say, about time to get to her, because this is a sophomore year, maybe at the end of her junior year. So we got this year and we got next year. So if the league decide to do something, if she can keep some of those NIL deals and take some of those endorsement deals, so if she get major sponsorship and endorsements deals outside of NIL, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Sprite, maybe Converse or Under Armour, whatever, or Nike, whatever, that's going to pay her like they did a Caitlin Clark $50 million, then it makes sense to come on out. Yeah. But if you just leave NIL money on the table, they're like, nah.
and then my other concern is, and I want to hear what you got to say about this, and that is, there's nobody on the planet that's a bigger fan of Paige Beckers than I am.
Yeah,
okay? I got to say that first.
Yeah,
I have a lot of concerns about Paige at the WNBA, the professional level. Okay, is she going to be? I'm not saying she is. This is a question I'm throwing out to the public, the listeners, the viewers, and you. Is Paige going to be this superstar, everything college basketball player that doesn't play at the next level? And I'll give you an example. Somebody like a Christian Laettner,
right.
who was one of the greatest collegiate basketball players to ever play the sport,
right?
But was just so average in the NBA,
right?
And the way Paige is built, she's not as athletic. I'm just calling spade a spade. She's not
No, yeah.
she's not blessed with athleticism. She's not the fastest woman in the world. She's not the highest jumper. She's not the strongest one. She's real good.
Right.
But is her game in her physical athleticism, or their lack of, going to be able to play at the next level? That's a question for the everyone.
Watching her play now, I will say this: the girl can ball.
Mm-hmm.
The girl can ball. It just she's not needed on UConn to be that scorer. And this is one thing I love about women versus men. When Caitlin Clark was at Iowa, she was all things Iowa. She was like pass the ball to wheel type good, right? They needed her to score. Without her, you don't do anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we know what type of program Gino Orama run, right? I think is it Oriama Karama? I can't forget that new name.
Orama, yeah.
Yeah, Oriama. So we know what type of program they run in UConn, right? They're not a program that's going to have to be a program that where one person gets it done. That's not the way he does it. Right. But she's a baller. So right now she's 27th on the list of scoring, but she's still averaging 21 points a game. Yeah. So when you start looking at her discipline that she get from UConn, oh heck yeah, she's gonna be ready.
Okay.
And when you're looking at her paired up against Arika Ogumawale, a person who now you got a 1-2 punch. Arika can shoot, Paige can shoot. Paige is not necessarily a threat when she drives because she's, like you say, she's not as athletic, but she can shoot. And so you start talking about a perimeter 2-man game between Paige and Arika, that's phenomenal. And then you got Sabali down in the middle. They can do some things, right? Now, like I said, and I still like Destiny Adams on that squad. Maybe trade Sabali, get Destiny Adams, and then go and try to get a second-round guard from out of there. But if Paige is sitting there, obviously she's the choice. But my only fear is this, that Destiny may change the rankings. Well, if Destiny is at number 2 overall, you get Destiny. But if Destiny's not at number 2, then you go ahead and take Paige. That's my opinion on that. But both women, both women. But Paige, man, I love her. I love the way she shoots like with so much confidence. Like she's a dog, man. That girl come out there, she wear a heart on her chest and dare anybody to touch it type stuff.
Yeah. I love it. So it's just, we keep saying it, and we'll say it. We'll close out this segment with this. If you haven't watched WNBA hoops, then you need
or women college hoops watching.
Then you need to make that a priority come time. So,
all right, so let's jump on into the NBA real quick. 2 quick things in the NBA. The NBA season is real young right now, so it's just getting started. So there's really not a whole lot to cover right now. Obviously, we're talking about I made a bold statement. I'll let the Fairweather fans know, but I made a bold statement suggesting that the Boston Celtics will not make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I've been told I was crazy, but it is what it is. We don't believe in hypotheticals here. Right now, it's left to be seen, but right now they're second in the East, second in the whole league, next to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who's not lost a game. That is crazy. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because guess who plays tonight?
Who's that?
Cleveland Cavaliers are at Boston tonight.
Oh, you definitely gonna watch that, because that's gonna tell the whole tale right now.
So,
Eric
and they have Boston like a 5.5, 6 point favorite in this game.
Yeah.
So I know it's early. I get it's early, but you got to understand the Cavs are undefeated.
Yeah.
What are they, 16-0 or something crazy like that?
Yeah. I think 15-0. Yeah. So
Boston's lost a couple maybe, but regardless of the outcome of the game tonight, and I'm excited about seeing it, that's not going to tell us anything about how the season is going to end up.
Right.
And so we'll just leave it right there for now. I like Cleveland to give them a really good game. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I gotta ask this question. Still Bronny James fly commercial. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, so LeBronny James has been moved to the Los Angeles Lakers G League team. And so obviously not being on the big team, they don't have the big LA Lakers jet. So they got to go through LAX and get on a regular commercial flight and fly to their games. So he had decided, you know what? He's only going to play with the team only in home games, because he do not feel like he himself, being Bronny James, should be on a commercial flight. So do you agree or disagree?
Oh, that's so That's so lame. If you travel with your team,
Facts.
you travel. Michael Jordan can travel with his team,
Yeah.
and Kobe Bryant can travel with his team.
Right.
Then you travel with your team, bro. You're a nobody.
Right. Right. Right.
If you were somebody, you wouldn't be in the G League.
Right.
You're just
Exactly.
you're
Exactly.
just another average Joe trying to make it to the next level, okay? And you probably I like Jonathan G. He said, cut him. I love it, Jonathan. Come on, I'm with you. And let's just say it like it is. If his dad wasn't who he was, Ronnie would probably be,
He
you know,
he wouldn't be close to league.
no,
So
no.
Ryan Clark said the exact same thing you said when he went on the Pivot podcast. And in his words, and I quote, he said, "What have you done to deserve any of the rights?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I agree with that. But my only pushback is this. So I agree, yeah, Bronny James should be flying with his team. He should suck it up. But here's my only pushback to that. I can't blame him because you're talking about, has he ever rode Flow commercial? Do we know what it's like going through TSA? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for as long as he can remember, he's been getting rolled out to a tarmac and then getting his luggage taken to him by servicemen and just going on a plane and enjoying it, private flight. That's all he knows. And so you start talking about, you guys allowed this to happen. So if you allow this to happen, what do you expect to happen when you ask this young man who has been given a golden spoon his whole life to now all of a sudden you got to go and get a plastic fork out of a package? It's like, no, that's not, I'm not used to that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I love it.
Like, they'll make it right, but I understand where he's coming from. So he should buy his own tickets.
Jonathan G, you and me are on the same page, brother.
All right, a little bit more serious news right here now. So this has been flying around. Agree or disagree, Draymond Green should be suspended. For those of you who know, Zach Edey, they got tangled up, and as Zach Edey was trying to pull away and get away, they fell on the ground. Draymond Green seemed to kind of grab a lock of his leg just before Zach Edey was able to pull away. Zach Edey stumbled and fell on top of him. They didn't call anything at that point. After the game, they looked at it, upgraded to a flagrant 1. So that caused a lot of controversy. So this be a situation that now should be looked at more at a possible suspension at Draymond's antics?
You know what? I watched that clip numerous times, and I tried to look at it in a real objective way. And worst case scenario, it was a flagrant 1.
Right.
Okay. And nobody got hurt. It wasn't vicious, violent. It was, Draymond Green. If it would have been Joe Blow doing the same thing, it would have been a flagrant 1, and that would have been all it would have been. Okay.
Right.
So I thought it was harmless. I thought it was, I didn't really think that much about it. And I'm the first one to rag on Draymond because I think he needs it every now and then. So, but I didn't see anything, overly. I mean, it really wasn't. I don't even think it was dirty. They got tangled up.
Right.
He got tangled up and he grabbed his foot. And that happens all the time. So, what'd you think about it?
CG said, ride his dad's jet. Well, that is true. You want to go fly by yourself, go ride your dad's jet. He said, ban Draymond. And what? Ban Draymond.
He said, I'm on
he said, ban Draymond. I'm on the roll now.
Yeah.
Say he's worse than Ron Artest and Rodman. God, dog, yeah.
But go ahead and throw Bill Laimbeer in there too, John.
Yeah, don't forget Baron Lilbert. Don't forget him up in there. But D-Way, actually, man, you took the words right out of my mouth because I sat there and watched it. I didn't even think it was a flagrant 1.
I said worst case scenarios.
Worst case scenario. I didn't even think it was a flagrant 1. I thought it should just but the problem is, and this is the unfair part about it, and this is where I start talking about. I get because it's Draymond. I get because everybody's saying, well, he's had this history, so you're gonna look at him closer. But that just means that people who got to make these calls, you're gonna have to tighten up your level of integrity, because just because you don't like somebody, just because this person has a tendency, that doesn't mean you automatically say they did something they didn't do, and that's not fair. And I know it's hard being a referee because you don't know, because this guy maybe could spaz out in one moment and you're trying to control the game. But right is right, is wrong is wrong. that's just Draymond. I don't even know if Draymond tried to grab his foot. It just the way Zach Edey, because he's a longer guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Draymond is trying to keep this dude from kicking him in the head, and all of a sudden Zach Edey tried to jump, and it's what it was. So, but no, I don't think he should be suspended.
I didn't even think Zach thought it was that big of a deal, really. I mean,
well, no, not afterwards, but you know how the guys are now. As soon as you grab a leg, oh my God, I can't believe he hit me. It's a little crybaby stuff.
What if that situation would have been not Draymond? What if that situation would have been Steph Curry?
Play on. Heck, if it was in Steph Curry, Zach Edey probably would have got a foul. It was Steph Curry.
So yeah, I just. It is what it is. I mean,
he is a known agitator. So I listened to Stephen A. did all he can do to protect Draymond, and that's the one thing about it. And this is the thing that kills me about Stephen A. And I'll say this right now and just throw it out there for free. Stephen A. Smith, if you ever watch this podcast, you got to determine who you're going to be, because you can't go out there and talk bad about some of the players. Like I say, you can't give an honest opinion based on what you see to other players, but because you and Draymond are friends, now all of a sudden now you're ready to throw him a lot of grace. If you're gonna be a person, extend grace to everybody, not just your friends. Call it what it is. Now I agree with you; he didn't do anything wrong, but at the end of the day, I've seen you ready to kick folk out the league or call something harsher for things I don't think was that big of a deal to other players. But it is a show. He has to make his money. He has to be, do his character thing.
Right.
He said, yes, he fouled. Yeah, he said it was been a foul on Edey if it was Curry. Yeah. Let's jump into the NCAA football, man. Listen, real quick. D-Wade and Jonathan G, if you're watching, all there are watching, I want you guys to jump in and answer this question completely. We know that the Heisman Trophy is a quarterback-heavy award, but has Travis Hunter absolutely unequivocally done enough to earn him this year's Heisman Trophy vote? Unanimous.
1,000% yes for me. Travis is the best player in the country and he plays on both sides of the football at a high level, and he is the best football player in the nation. So that's, for me, and you're hearing from a guy that's not a real big Colorado Buffalo fan.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I'm just a big college football fan, and Felix. Shout out to Felix Covenant, our Covenant brother. He said absolutely, and Felix said you can't teach or coach what Travis Hunter brings to the table. You just can't.
Right, absolutely. And that's real. And y'all, I just want to make this quick note. Obviously, let's see, somebody's leaving a comment. John to say, he said, I stopped short of unanimous, but he does deserve. Okay.
I actually like how he worded that. I agree with how he worded that.
But he does deserve the Heisman. Okay. I'm not gonna get no pushback. But the beautiful thing about it, I definitely agree he deserved this year's Heisman, because there is nobody I think that's close to him, because the front runner currently was Dillon Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel. That's his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have not seen anything. Now, obviously, their team is undefeated, but I still haven't seen enough from that squad from him to justify that. And then you start looking at Cam Ward and all these other guys. I'm like, Austin Gentry is a close second to me. Gentry, the kid from Boise. So I like him.
I have to agree with that statement. Yeah.
But but like you said, a two-position guy, you can't get it. And if he does it, y'all, there's only been one defensive back that ever won a Heisman Trophy, and that was Charles Woodson back in the day, back in 96, 97, 97.
With Michigan, huh? I think.
Yeah, with Michigan. Yeah, he's the only one ever done it. But this is going to be the first, if he gets it, the first cornerback wide receiver. We've seen other combo positions win it, wide receiver, quarterback, stuff like that. We've never seen a wide receiver, cornerback combo ever. So that's what makes him so special. That's why he deserves to get it. So anybody disagree with me that, man, please feel free to leave a comment, and also like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, my thoughts on that is, if you have all of these guys that are quote unquote Heisman candidates, and you're starting a program, who would you take first off of that list for your program? I mean, for me, it's Travis Hunter.
Yeah. So, because you get because it's not like you're playing one primary and one complementary role.
Yes.
He's literally playing a starter for both and actually contributing in both.
Yeah, and he can return kickoffs and punts if
absolutely
called upon.
Absolutely. So this kid he's the baller. So I'm looking at right now the top 5 draft prospects as it stands right now. Obviously, this can change based on whatever. But right now, we're looking at Travis Hunter going number 1, Ashton Genty going number 2, who's a running back. You got Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, number 3, Kevin Banks Jr., offensive tackle, number 4, and Cam Ward, quarterback, at number 5. Let's see. He said Hunter because he got, you get running backs late round. Absolutely. Now that's so out of this top 5, so you got a cornerback, running back, quarterback, offensive tackle, quarterback. So we're looking at who go where. I know you've done your homework.
Are you telling me that the general public, the nation, the experts are saying that Shedeur Sanders is a top 5 player in the country?
Yeah.
I like that face expression right there.
That's what they said, right?
I don't know how
I'm not even sold on Cam Ward being a top 5 either, but this is what they say.
Yeah. No,
now listen, the only reason why that I believe he's a top 5 is not based on what he's done as a quarterback and not necessarily what Cam Ward has done as a quarterback. It's what these teams who's going to be in that top 5 spots, draft picks, what they need. Because you're looking at who's there. The Giants need a quarterback, obviously. The Browns need a quarterback. Who else out there needs Las Vegas needs a quarterback. So there's some teams.
Felix took it to another level. He just told me that Shedeur is the best quarterback in the country in the draft. I ain't saying it that way. Felix, you don't know nothing about all that anyway. So what are you trying to say, man?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Like I say, Dylan Gabriel gets a slight because he's with Oregon. Obviously, they're undefeated, so he gets a little. But when it comes down to where they rank in passing yardage, Shedeur is up in the top 5 in passing yardage. But like you know what I'm saying, so and Dylan Gabriel is down, and so you got to give credit where credit is due. So toughness. But so I don't know where he'll be a good fit, because right now there's a place he could go, which will be Oakland. Not Oakland, but Las Vegas. I mean, they need a quarterback.
The kid at Ole Miss is a big, strong kid. Nobody ever says anything about him.
He was up. I forget his name, but he was up, and he was about a few weeks ago. He was at like the number 3 spot.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, and then
he was at the number 3 spot a few weeks ago.
And I know this kid may not be big enough, but he sure looked good the other night against Tennessee. The kid from Georgia. Look, he was throwing darts the other night, man.
Golly, what's that kid name?
Beck, last name Beck, maybe.
Carson Beck.
Yeah.
So Carson Beck has been up and down.
Yeah,
he's been up and down. You know what I'm saying? With his performance, but like I say, so I mean, and that's the reason why, like I say, with their inconsistencies, they kind of push him down. But obviously, a running back but a running back usually don't go first round. But I don't think Ashton Gentry will probably go top 5, because I don't think any of the teams right now in the top 5 needs a running back. So he may go all the way down to the middle of the pack just because they need to pick him. I do see Cam Ward. I do see Shedeur getting picked in the top 5 because quarterbacks need him. Travis Hunter obviously is going to go number 1 because he's going to be everything that Jacksonville need to go over there with them if they get that number 1 spot. So he's going to be over there. Jacksonville can use him, and I think that'll be a great spot for him to land, and then also be a good opportunity to try to woo Deion Sanders. I like Deion Sanders in Jacksonville more than I like him in Dallas, if that be the case. I know G, you watching. No Deion in Dallas.
Yeah, why are you throwing shade on the guy in Jacksonville, quarterback?
No. I like the quarterback. I think him and Travis would be great. It's the coach I'm throwing shade on.
I thought
Doug Peters.
I thought you were talking about Shador going.
No. Travis Hunter, because he'll be coming out number one on Raw. So I like Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville, and I think Doug Peters has seen his better days. So I think if you're going to need a coach, I think that would be a good spot for Deion if you choose to come up to the NFL.
And Ashton Genty, the running back for Boise State, the team that needs him the worst don't have any money left.
Right.
Are you picking up what I'm laying down?
Yeah.
Because Jerry done spin it all.
But you know what? Looking at it, Cowboys coming at 11 spots. So if he's there, you may need to go ahead and get him.
I don't see him being there.
Jerry not gonna make that move, but it would make sense. He said Tennessee needs a quarterback. Obviously they do. So between Tennessee and Carolina don't need a quarterback. They got Bryce Young.
Yeah, Tennessee needs a lot though. Tennessee
needs a whole lot. But that's because Tennessee need a running back too.
Yeah.
So they need it. So that's the problem with the running back spot, because the teams that need a running back also need a quarterback. And obviously they're going to pick the quarterback first round. So Ashton Gentry may fall out of the top 10 just based on the way it looks right now. But we can go around on that. Man, let's jump into some fun stuff. Let's see what he said. Okay, I forgot about Bryce Young.
Come on, Jonathan.
So we're about to go to our two favorite quarterbacks in the league. Well, two of our two favorites. We got many favorites, but so Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen. This we're going to go with. Jalen or Josh.
For what?
So right now, which one of those quarterbacks would be the first one to pass Cam Newton in rushing touchdown? Cam Newton currently he's a record with 75 rushing touchdowns, the most out of a quarterback. Josh Allen has 58. Jalen Hurts has 52 rushing touchdowns. Which one of those two is going to be the first one to catch Cam Newton? They got a lot of football left on them.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, he's that big bruiser down there on the goal line to get it done. But Jalen can break one off for 60 or 50 or 60 yards and score. He's that kind of talent. So, just depends on how many times Buffalo gets in the red zone. If they're in the red zone a lot, then Josh is going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah.
So that's a great topic of conversation. But I don't want Josh getting beat up down there, man.
Right now it's like 58 to 52. I know that's like a six touchdown lead, but that can change. We're in the middle of the season right now. That can change. The tush push has been working for Jalen. Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna say this because Josh Allen wants to spin the ball. He wants to spin it. He runs out of necessity, but he wants to spin it. Mm-hmm. I think that more than likely, it'll probably be Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. That'll probably get there first.
I agree. Yeah.
Because now Josh Allen will probably pick up later in his years, but I mean, right now he wants to spin the ball. He wants to spin it. He don't necessarily like to run. He does it out of necessity. But Philadelphia, their game plan is for him to run the ball. So yeah. Now Lamar Jackson is at 5,842 rushing yards. Michael Vick holds a record most rushing yards out of a quarterback at I think it's like 6,108. So basically, it's 268 yards before Lamar Jackson will pass Michael Vick, which I don't see why it can't do it this year.
Yeah, it's going to happen this year. Yeah.
So Michael Vick will take the reign of Lamar Jackson will take the reign of Michael Vick's.
Right.
Now, back to our question. Jalen or Josh, who would be the second to pass him? Michael Vick?
It's gonna be Jalen. It's Jalen. Jalen's he's probably one of the best athletes at the quarterback position in all of football. Jalen's he's such a good athlete.
You know what? I like Jalen, but Josh Allen is the more long. He'll bust shot a 15-yarder, a 20-yarder, 30. He'll do that. And he does it out of necessity. So I still like Jalen. I think Josh will probably get there first.
Okay.
I think Josh should get there first. I think Jalen will have more touchdowns, but I think overall rushing yards, I think Josh Allen get there first.
All right, that's good stuff.
So now let's go to a little bit of some news. Not news, but some concerns. The Denver Broncos. We've been watching them for some years now, and we've seen, oh my God, their quarterback woes. We're talking about from Trevor Siemian to Brock, whatever the Brock, I forget his name.
Mm-hmm.
Just obviously the last one with the Pittsburgh guy with Russell Wilson, but they just had some bad quarterback situation ever since Peyton Manning left, and even when they had Peyton Manning, it's like they've been struggling for quarterbacks over there. So is Drake May the answer? That's the question. Is Drake May the answer?
Well, I mean,
he said Tebow. I forgot Tebow. He played a half a season over there with them. Yeah, I remember Plummer. Yeah, he was bad. So yeah,
Jake Plummer. Yeah.
Oh, he said,
"Don't make me go old school on you, man. Talk about one of the greatest ever, the John Elway."
Joe, he got some. That's what I'm talking about. These Broncos got some tough shoes to fill at quarterback when you're looking at John Elway. He said, "But is Drake May the answer?"
Man. They're moving in the right direction. Time will tell for me, you know.
I mean, Lewis, correct me, not Drake May, but Bo Nix. I'm sorry, y'all. That's another mistake. Drake May plays for the Patriots, not Drake May, but Bo Nix.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
Now,
yeah, my bad, y'all. My bad. Yeah. Bo Nix. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I mean, Denver. We're seeing some improvement with Denver. That team is getting better, but only time will tell. I mean, if Bo's the guy or not, in my opinion. I haven't got to see Denver play this year. Have you?
Yeah, I don't like Denver. So I've been trolling them heavily. And that's why I'm tripping, because I'm looking at Denver, but I'm thinking about Drake May because I'm a fan of Gerard Mayo over in New England. So I get the two mixed up, and actually I've done it in college, you know what I'm saying, to give myself a little bit of grace. But let's see what Lou had to say. Bo Nix remains, he said, reminds me of a lot of Drew Brees. Yeah, Nick throws like him, he moves like him, and it's yeah. So he said they got a ways to go. He talking about both Drake May.
That's what I said. Time will tell how that deal plays out. I mean, you start comparing him to one of the greats of all time, the Drew Brees. That's a big step.
And you know what? And I'm gonna say this. I agree with Lewis on that. I think Bo Nix is the answer. I think he's the answer. I think he's finally the quarterback that Denver's been looking for. And it has nothing to do with Sean Payton as a coach. I think this kid is NFL ready. I think he's lasted these last couple of games. I think he stood the test of time. Mm-hmm. It's only going to get better for him up here. You know what I'm saying? He's only going to learn more. He's going to get tougher more. He's going to get more experience. The game is going to come to him a whole lot easier. I think he's that kid. Now, will he be up there to the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen and Burrow's level? That's still left to be seen. But is he the answer for what the Broncos? Because that's not a tough task to fill. The Broncos has been garbage at quarterback field. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact to say that he's the answer, yeah, he's going to be all those quarterbacks they had these last, 10 years, you combine them, right now he's better than all of them put together. So,
let me give you a little quick update.
Yeah.
In Boston, late in the second quarter, Celtics 51, Cavaliers 41. Late in the second quarter.
So it's still a close game.
Lots of game, yeah.
So it's a lot of game. He said, I'll say this, that Nick's already 24 years old as a rookie. Nick would need to go ahead and play the way he's playing now as an older rookie. Absolutely. He said the number of games Nick started in college has already hit. And that's the point, because he stayed in college a little longer than the rest of them. He's already got that experience. So I think this is what they're looking for, a more younger, a mature quarterback already at that spot. Moving on to now, listen, before we end the show, we got a few more to get into. Is it the end for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals? Have they seen their better days?
What is wrong with Cincinnati?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you. I don't know.
I don't think anybody knows. What is going on in Cincinnati?
I mean, do you know that Joe Burrow is currently leading the NFL in passing yards? But their team is 4-7.
And their offensive line's not very good. I don't think they have a running game.
Coach, it's like they've got 7 losses. 6 out of the 7 losses are only by 1 possession.
And their defense,
I don't understand it.
Their defense has been so bad.
So bad. Even when the offense is playing, just like we watched the Baltimore game, right? Offense is playing phenomenal, but their defense is like when the offense try to play a good game, the defense play a worse game. Well, it's like the offense is doing what they're supposed to do, but the defense is just trash. And every year you get older and older and older. So I think I would say that is more. Yeah, I think that the clock is running out on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I think it's about time for him to go somewhere else.
So if you watch the game the other night, Chargers and the Bengals.
Yeah.
If the Bengals defense would have just played a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
That right there. Bengals
I'm talking about. When you cooking your favorite dessert, all they ask for is just a dash of salt. That's it. Because you want sugar, but just a little dash of salt. That's all. Just a little bit. But nope.
I can't stand for Jim Harbaugh to have any success at all. So that's all I got to say about that.
That sounds personal to me. I already know.
I like his brother. I like John a lot.
Yeah. All right, man. Listen, real quick, if you can, top 5 MVPs of this year in order. Rank your top 5 MVPs.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Got to throw somebody from the Lions on there. But I don't know. The whole Lions defense. I mean, is Josh having a good enough year?
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny, as many points as the Lions, Detroit's been scoring, as great as the season they're having, as good a team they are. They don't have any super duper superstars on that team that are MVP people, in my humble opinion. The Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
They just got a bunch of really good, solid, hard-nosed kids that are playing well.
So I'm like this. So obviously I got Josh Allen number 1.
Okay.
I got Lamar Jackson number 2.
Okay.
I have Jared Goff number 3 from the Detroit Lions.
You're such a homer. Go ahead.
I got Patrick Mahomes number 4, and the 5th spot I will give it to Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that just for craps and giggles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But obviously, Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP, but because he has Derrick Henry, and he has receivers and Bateman and all them guys over there, we still don't know who these people, other than you get Amari Cooper, who really haven't done a whole lot since he came to the Bills.
Right.
Josh Allen has just been phenomenal. And he's doing, like I say, out of necessity, throwing the ball, running the ball.
Hey, bro, you're preaching to the choir here, man.
Yeah, so he gives my MVP, right? And of course, you got to give it to Lamar Jackson. And the 4 losses that Lamar Jackson obviously gives them a drop down. Josh Allen has 2, and they just beat Patrick Mahomes them. So obviously, you get that. Patrick Mahomes dropped because, once again, I mean, I don't look at Patrick Mahomes as an MVP regular season quarterback because their team does just enough. But he knows that when Patrick Mahomes turn it on in January, that's when he turns it on. So, when we get to the playoffs, that's when we're going to see Patrick Mahomes. So right now, and that's the reason why I gave Jared Goff a boost, because that 1-loss team in Detroit is off the chain. And it's all because of what he's doing. So,
It's been nuts. So good for them. Good for them.
And we're going to end the show on a little bit of cowboy rant.
Should have been a cowboy.
So
should have learned to rope and ride.
Go ahead, D-Way.
Wearing my saddle. Riding my saddle on cattle drive.
I like it.
Stealing the young girls' hearts, just like Gene and Roy. Singing those campfire songs. Oh, I should have been a cowboy.
What is that? What is that? Who sang that song?
That's the hats off to that's Toby Keith, man.
Oh,
Who we
God
lost.
bless you, Toby Keith. We
Yeah,
miss old Toby Keith. Yeah.
Toby wrote that. Should have been a cowboy. That was one of his biggest songs ever. So,
Yeah.
but yes, Jerry's delusional. I think Jerry is. I think he's mental. I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I know one thing. The Houston Texans played a really bad high school junior varsity team last night.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So
And they beat them.
you know, somebody told me today they feel like that 4 of the top college teams in the country could beat the Cowboys right now.
Of course, because they got basically some second and third stringers out there playing. So yeah, anybody can beat the Cowboys. Yeah. So, they don't come together as a unit. So yeah, they all the way messed up.
Here's my question that you know we didn't really talk about, but I want to hear your comments and anybody else, Lewis or Jonathan G or Felix or whoever's out there. Do the Cowboys Mike McCarthy for the entire year? Yes or no?
No.
And why or why not?
No, they need to go ahead and get rid of him now, as soon as possible.
That's what I'm saying.
But Jerry Jones is not going to do that because that's what people are expecting. He's not going to do something that he wants to be breaking news. He don't want to be the obvious. Like if nobody was talking about Mike McCartney, he'd been fired 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Because people are already up above it. It's like G said, fire him and Zimmer. We already know Zimmer should never came back here. But yeah, I mean, because like, but so yeah, he's gonna get fired in the offseason, obviously, and Jerry's gonna try to make something to do about it or whatever. He gonna at the end of the season, he gonna say that Mike McCartney should be a quarterback. He's gonna be the Dallas Cowboy quarterback going forward. And then everybody gonna forget about it for a month. The next, breaking news: Jerry fired Mike McCartney because he wants to do it in his own timing. But the question I asked is delusional. D Coach knows, but for those you don't know, if you've been watching Cowboys organization, Jerry Jones is always the spokesman for the Cowboys, win or lose. If they win, he's gonna have something to say. He goes on to the Ticket and talk about it. He goes on to all these other podcasts, all these other mainstream media outlets, and he talks about the Cowboys. It seemed like can't nobody be the spokesman for the Cowboys other than him, outside of Michael Partners Barson's doing his own thing on his podcast. But Jerry Jones is the exclusive information to what's going on behind the scenes in Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And the things he said this today, last night and today, he talks about the Cowboys they are the team that the world wants to see because they're constantly winning games. And I'm paraphrasing. He said we're 6th on the list when it comes down to all-time wins, and then he got fact-checked there at 11. But so basically what that suggests to us all that's watching, that Jerry Jones is saying that all we hear is to win some games for our team, not necessarily to win Super Bowls, which that is completely delusional when you have the star on your helmet. Right. Then he goes out there and says some other stuff, and he still believes this organization is winning. It's almost like he's surprised that the Cowboys are not as good. He's saying, yeah, we're not making good things, but he still believes. So he has a lot of delusional things in his mind, and we want him gone. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna say we. I speak for myself. Yeah. I want him gone. Me and G were talking about this. He's doing a phenomenal job. I want y'all to understand this. He is doing a phenomenal job as an owner. Because he don't mind spending the money. But as a GM, D-Way, he is terrible.
Oh, he's garbage, man. So, and you can see how bad the Cowboys, they've gotten worse. They just didn't get to this point overnight.
Right.
This is something we've been watching. And because the general manager makes all the right key moves and all the right key decisions regarding personnel. And because we don't have a GM, we have someone that's acting like a GM, then you're seeing how bad the Cowboys are. Felix said just by looking at Jerry's face, McCarthy looks like he has checked out. Okay? And I also don't think Jerry cares about winning. He won twice last week with the Tyson fight in a full stadium last night at the game. Yeah, and hey, Jerry could be laughing all the way to the bank. We don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, why would he not get up there at that Tyson fight and get the microphone and talk about what he's done for the world? I built this stadium for events like this,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a genius. I'm not gonna. He's a genius. It is a stadium for football, not necessarily the Cowboys. Cowboys just happen to be the home team. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's marketing because he wasn't. You talking about the old Texas Stadium, the whole thing, just little under 30,000 people, and so now you build a stadium that can host 70,000 more. He said, "Listen, I want all the money, not only from the Cowboy fans we got, but I want it from the home fans. I mean, from the visiting team. I want them fans to get in here."
Yeah, and I got a buddy of mine that works traffic and parking out at the Cowboy games, and he said he texted me yesterday before the game. He said these people have lost their mind. People are coming in here like the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl this year, man.
Right. He said, "This is what G said. This is hard fall. This hard fall is on a coach. Andy Reid is in the same position. I think he's supposed to excels." But he said Andy Reid excels with the same talent McCartney has in a few years. So basically what he's trying to say is that Andy Reid can take the same talent that Mike McCartney had, but he would excel. He would do a whole lot more with the talent.
Okay.
And that's a fair statement because Andy Reid is a different type of coach. Andy Reid can go to Cowboys with all the issues surrounding the Cowboy name, the fanfare that comes, the overnight success. You can be somebody who just came from washing clothes at a laundromat. The moment you put a star on your helmet, you are very marketable material. Andy knows how to control all that. Because look what Andy does. Andy does these State Farm commercials as well. So here's a guy who can get out there and be an actor. Yeah. And so he can balance that and still be a great coach. You know what I'm saying? So when you got other players are doing that, he's handling Patrick Mahomes being this spokesman for all these other different ads and stuff like that, and still get them to make the main thing the main thing. And you love that out of him. But Mike McCartney, he can't. All he got is the Cowboys. You got one job, and that's a coach. He ain't got to be on no set. He ain't got to go through no makeup. He ain't got to go through wardrobe. He ain't got to go through script reading. He ain't got to travel back and forth to go do these events. He ain't got to do none of that. All he can do is hold a clipboard and coach the Cowboys, and you can't even do that.
I do want to make one comment. Make sure everybody's understand this, okay? I don't want to hear anybody say at any point in time in this Cowboy season that if Dak would have been healthy, things would have been different. They would not have been different. I said before the season started, Dallas would be lucky to win 8 games with Dak Prescott as the starting quarterback. So I'm not listening to that. Well, Dak got hurt. Well, I'm not playing that game with people this year. I'm not.
There will be one person that will use that excuse, and you know who that will be? Jerry Jones.
Jerry,
He gonna use that. Mike gonna be the puppet. He's gonna repeat everything. He's gonna be the parrot to Jerry Jones.
But Jerry's a trip. I mean, Jerry held on to Jason Garrett way too many years. So I mean, who knows? He might keep. Who knows? He probably keep McCarthy, knowing how crazy he is right now.
Yeah, because it's hard for Jerry Jones with his ego to say, I picked the guy to be, because when he picked Jason Garrett, we was like, really, bro?
Yeah.
Really?
Right, yeah.
And Jason Garrett, obviously there was talent there, so it wasn't a whole lot he could do. Then Jason Garrett got there a few years, sucked as a play caller. Then instead of Jerry Jones firing him, he took the play calling away from him and gave it to his offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And then obviously then he finally got rid of him. Yeah. And then when he got rid of him, because him and the other coaches around the leagues are tight, Jason Garrett didn't sit out there long. He left the Cowboys. They immediately went to the Giants because of Jerry Jones looked out for him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what are we coming up on? It's not an accident that the Cowboys are coming up on 30 years before they had a Super Bowl run.
Right.
30 years.
Yeah.
Coming up on it.
Coming up 28 years right now since 96. Yep, 28 years.
So what's the problem? I mean, this didn't happen overnight. The problem is, you said it, EC, we don't have a general manager running this team.
Yep. Jonathan G get the final words. He said if the coach had ran the ball 20 more times, the record would be better. I agree with that. Hey, G made a comment. We talked about this earlier, D-Way, and I know you can appreciate this. So we talked about the speculation on why they did not pick Derrick Henry. And so as me and G was talking, I said, and I made a comment. I wasn't thinking about the Derrick Henry at the time, but I made this comment. I said, G, I don't think Mike McCartney has that many running plays in his playbook. Mm-hmm. And G said, with that being said, that makes so much sense when Jerry Jones says they don't have the money to go get Derrick Henry. It makes sense because obviously you got the money. But looking at the playbook, if we ain't got we don't have that type of money to hire this guy, and we don't have that many running plays in our playbook.
There you go.
It makes absolutely no sense. And like I said, and I know there's some people that think that's stretching, but we're just looking at it for what it is. Because even with Cooper Rush, who's a backup quarterback, and D-Way, your coach, you already knows when your backup goes in, what do? You run the ball.
Right. Yep.
But yet this guy is still throwing the ball, which suggests to me that Mike McCartney does not have a bunch of running plays, which means that is a reason why, and my speculation is why you can't afford to get a Derrick Henry because he needs the ball. So
yeah. When's the last time the Cowboys ran the jet sweep? maybe first game of the year with CD, maybe one time. I don't know.
So they tried that I think 2 weeks ago. And they're trying to go to their strong side, which is their left side. But the problem is that the play took too long to develop, and the guy got stopped behind a line of scrimmage. And it was more so of it was a reverse because it was the same play they did last night that gave them 11 yards. The exact same play that CeeDee Lamb did in the first quarter. He went a jet sweep reverse and went around to the left side and got 11 yards. But every time, that's the first time that play was successful all season long.
Okay.
So, he said every week, he said
every week they were in that idiot play. But it's like EC said, that they don't just because you run it, if you don't run it correct, the word is execute. They don't execute it.
Right.
EC said it took too long to develop, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he said you run that play with a running back that average 4 yards a carry, not a wide receiver have to come from the other side of the field. It makes no sense. All right, y'all, that's been our time today, man. This has been the not I value perspective, but this has been the FairWeather Fan. I'm getting my podcast mixed up, y'all. Woo, I'm working hard out there for the people, man. But listen, this has been the FairWeather Fan Podcast. D-Way, you got any final thoughts for the people?
No, just hey, let's just keep on keeping on. We're getting into the meat of the college and NFL football season, and we've got the NBA in full swing now. And so, man, I hope everybody is healthy and everybody's going to have good Thanksgiving holidays, which we'll see you again. But just keep on keeping on. I enjoyed it as always.
All right, for those of you who've been watching, man, I appreciate all you guys do. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you giving in the comments. Thanks, G, for watching. But also do me another favor to help us get a part of the algorithm. If you're watching the show or have been watching the show, if you got to this point, please go ahead and share this on your page so we can get access to more and more people because we want to spread it out. It costs you nothing but to hit the share button. And you ain't got to add no words. Just hit the share button and hit post now. They do great. But definitely for those you gave the thumbs up like, we appreciate it. If you're watching, please give a likes up. But join the conversation. This podcast is not just for me, D-Way, and J-Dub, but it's for you. Join this conversation. We love to hear what you have to say. G is coming in. He says HBCU, Texas College here in Thailand has his best season. Good shout out for the HBCU for Texas College. They're doing their thing in Tyler, Texas. Thanks, G, for plugging them out there. For those of you down there in Tyler with Texas College, man, congratulations on a phenomenal year you guys are having. This been your boy EC22 with your boy Coach D-Way representing the Aggies over there because we don't know who he's gonna be, Aggies or the Nittany Lions. We don't know, but but we appreciate you guys. We'll catch you guys next week at 6:00, man. Wait a minute. Wait. Yes, we will be on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So yeah, we will be out. We will be on there next week. All right, y'all. This is your boy EC22. Once again, for my third closing, we are out.